So it's Friday, August 24th. This is a day that we are going to extract some honey. So we've taken some of the surplus honey off the hive. These are the honey frames that were in the supers that were sitting on top of the brood frames or the brood boxes. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this special knife that we've put here in some hot water to heat it a bit. We're going to slice off the cappings that the bees put on top of the honey. So we're going to slice that off. We're then going to put the frame inside this extractor. It's going to sit with the exposed side out. I'm going to put 3 of them in. We're then going to spin it, and the force of the spinning is going to send the honey from the open cell to the outside of this container, and it's going to drop into the box, and then we'll take it out afterward through the bottom. So let's get started. As I take the cappings off, I'm going to store them here so that we can also harvest any surplus honey on those. So let's give it a try. It's our first time doing this, so we're hopeful and optimistic that we'll do it well and correctly, but let's see. So with this special knife, as I said, I'm just going to nicely move along the top of these caps and just lift them off into this container that's there just below. So part of the objective of this process, beyond simply harvesting the honey, is to do as little damage as possible to that nice comb there below that the bees have made. They spent a lot of effort on that, and so we're going to want to reuse it once it's empty. So once we get the honey out of the cells, we're going to put this frame outside in proximity to the bees, and the bees will come and clean it up, take any extra honey that's still there, and clean that away, and then we will have left a very nice honeycomb that we can use next season. So we're going to store it. We're going to, in order to get it into good shape for storage, we'll put it in the freezer for a couple of days, and then we'll take it out and we'll store it someplace safe. Okay, so I'm putting the third of 3 frames inside the extractor. I've eliminated all of the cappings, as you can see down there. I've opened the side that's facing to the outside. I'm going to spin it, and the centrifugal force of the spinning is going to cause the honey to move from the cells to the walls. There it will drop down. Can you put your foot on that side? You got it? Put your foot up right on it. Put your foot on it.
I did.
Like by the edge. Yeah. So we've completed the first spin. So what we did is we removed the caps from one side, that side facing out. The other side is still capped. So we're going to uncap the other side. We're going to put the frames in the other way and spin the honey next out of that side. Looks like we did a pretty good job getting the honey out of the first side. So let's do this. So here we have a very, very nice, very full frame of capped honey. I'm going to just very gently remove the caps, so the very thin layer of wax on top that the bees use to cap off the cells that they fill with honey. And you can see all of that golden honey there just below. And let's take another bit off. And as you can see here from the cappings, there's also some honey that we're going to let drip out through these filters into the container that we're using to capture the honey. So this thing shakes a lot. It's not bolted to the floor, so I'm standing on at least 2 of the legs, and it's moving quite a bit. needs quite a lot of force to get the honey out of those cells to the outside. So let's see how we've done. Okay. Take off the lid. So this frame we had already extracted, so that's done. So let's see how these look. This was the second side we were doing. So they should be completely extracted, and yes, feels really light. It was very, very heavy previously, and now it's very light in weight. I'll take that out. And what about the last one? Same thing, quite light, so I think we did a good job to get most of the honey out. The bees are going to clean it up. They'll take off whatever is left in terms of honey, nectar, put it back into the hive. It'll be kind of like when we were all small and helping our mom make a cake, and you had the chance to lick the spoon or lick the bowl before it went into the wash. That's kind of what this is going to be like for the bees. So we've extracted all the frames. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. Weren't completely full. Some were only partially full. We uncapped them. We used the extractor to apply centrifugal force to force the honey out of the frames. The frames are now pretty empty. The raw honey is now sitting in the bottom of this container. So I'm going to open this spigot at the bottom. It's going to flow through these 2 strainers, a rough strainer and a finer strainer, and then we will get the finished product in the bottom, which we will eventually put into jars. Okay, here we go. And there it goes. There's our season's honey coming nicely out. Can you get a close-up there of the honey gushing out of the bottom of the container? You see it still has clumps of wax and perhaps a bit of other small bits and pieces in it. So that's going to get caught by the 2 strainers, the less fine and the finer strainer, and at the end we will have very nice honey to put into jars. So we've extracted the honey. It's in this pail. You can see it's about to there. We've already taken a few jars, filled a few jars of honey. So we got quite a good amount. We've got some very nice jars that we're putting the honey in. We have some very nice labels that are coming. So what I'll do is just start to fill this jar up. And there we go. Little by little, fill the jar. Oops. And close it off. And one more jar of honey has been produced just like that.